Welcome, everybody. I'm Rick DiClemente with Astrology Unplugged. Tonight, we got a lot of things to do. We're going to get right to it. Thank you for joining us on YouTube. A few things to get started, just to let you know, because we got a guest coming on in just a minute. I want to thank all of you who have kindly sent in donations. They're greatly appreciated towards the price of using Zoom. Hold on, please. There we go. And if you do want to make a donation, it's greatly appreciated. It's on the website, starself.com. There's a donation button for whatever you can afford is greatly appreciated. Thank you. Tonight, I want you all who are logged in to watch the chat button closely at the bottom of your screen. Not for people from YouTube, but for people who are live tonight. Keep watching the chat area because I'm going to keep announcing who's up next, what order people are in, because they all want to know when they're next. Keep your eye on that chat and you will know. Also upcoming, I'm not sure when, in a couple of weeks, marvelous new guest, Jennifer Ivanko, who's a tremendous higher dimension teacher. I can't even go into what she does because she's so astounding. She's the real deal. Jennifer Ivanko, she will be joining us very soon. But for now, I want to say hi and welcome my good buddy. Unmute yourself there, Greg. I had to mute you. I'm going to welcome my good buddy, Greg Kehn, and we'll get him unmuted, and then we'll be able to talk to him. And Greg and I have been friends since 1982. You need to unmute for him, Leslie. There
we go.
Very much. Thank you, Leslie and Greg. Welcome to the show once again.
Thank you.
Greg was supposed to be on December 6th, but I got in the way with all these people who I was working with that felt that they were stuck, etc. How you doing, Greg?
Been doing good. Everything's worked well, and we got nice weather down here. We're in Lady Lake, Florida, and got nice weather here. We had a few weeks there that was really questionable, but now it's beautiful out, 84 today, and it was like, okay, get out in the sunshine.
When you coming north?
Probably mid-May, end of May, we'll be headed north. We left early from Lowydale last summer, and I'm glad we got out of there when we did. We both kept feeling like, we really should go. And we actually left before Labor Day. Normally we'd leave in, end of September or just the beginning of the next month. And here they got hit really hard with all the COVID things going on. And we were down here and just fine. So it worked out good.
That's really good. In case you're not familiar, Greg is a prominent resident at Lilydale, New York, which is near Niagara Falls. It's in the southwestern corner of New York, which is a major home to American and worldwide spiritualists.
Yes.
A major place for spiritual training. These are the spiritualist church people who get their certification to speak with those on the other side. It's a fascinating story. Greg and his family, what are you, fourth generation?
Well, we found out we're actually about sixth generation.
Oh my!
I have family that was there in, let's see, I think it was 1876. I have family that spoke there or something.
Well, you go
79.
You go way back. Greg and I met in 82 when he was speaking at the Wheeling, West Virginia Spiritualist Church. We've been friends since. I had a little tiny radio show. Greg would come on as a guest, and I knew him then. And then we had several years of distance for whatever reason. And now it's good to have him back. You are on. I'm going to give you the list. Folks, I'm taking the list as I saw you appear. I wrote your name down. The first three will be Claudia, then Leslie, then John H. And we'll start with you, Claudia. Feel free to unmute yourself. There's so many people on the screen, I can't even find you. Claudia, you're on with the Reverend.
Welcome back, Reverend. Always great to have you.
Thank you.
I have been looking for a new job for a couple of months.
I feel
And
very, very comfortable with the thought of a new job, but I feel like you're actually changing what you've been doing.
yeah, yeah, I that makes a lot of sense because today I spoke to somebody that was very timely for me. I want to get certified as a meditation teacher. And
Mhm.
so that'll be something that I can see myself doing in addition to my day job.
Well, I feel
Um,
very comfortable with that because what I see around you is you've been noticing recently that you've been having visual things occur out of the corner of the eye more. And you've also been having things happen intuitively that I'll explain it this way. We sometimes are so consciously caught up in the physical world that we're not always aware of what's really there in a more subtle manner. And you've been having subtle things come through to you, and you've been noticing them a great deal more, and you're
mhm,
beginning to follow them a great deal more.
mhm.
And I'll say it this way, you have the ability to certainly, with meditation, be in a calm space. But would you understand, you've been noticing recently that you lose track of time and you look at the clock and you think, my God, all that time went by. What was I doing?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I feel you're having what some people refer to as a daydream, but you're slipping away from the conscious world and you're slipping into the spirit level, and they're giving you things that you're beginning to notice more. And some of them, again, are very subtle. I mean, it's not like it's billboards,
right,
and it's
right.
something you're picking up on. And you've been noticing recently, you've been noticing your body go through temperature change. When you're in that state, you sometimes either get very hot or very cold.
Hmm. Yes, yes.
And you have a female around you on the spirit side that's an American Indian female. I see her with you, and you at times in the home you live in, sometimes you smell smoke, but there's nothing on fire and there's nothing there lit up
Yes,
because
yes.
she's showing me smudging and smudging around you and bringing harmony and bringing balance and bringing healing, and that she's working with you on that to allow you to know she's there, and that's the reason you're smelling the smoke. You had another incident happen where you couldn't figure out what was touching your hair.
Hmm.
Because I see you doing this, like, you're like, did a fly touch my hair or something? And
Yes.
she's laughing and she said, I'm getting her attention to help her realize in the conscious mind to allow these things to come through, because there's a part of you that wants to be in control.
Mm.
And when you're wanting to be so in control, that's when we become so focused on the physical world at times. You're learning to shift the focus to allowing spirit to guide you.
I feel it deeply. It's just amazing. It's
Now,
just amazing.
you've been having something happen with the stomach and intestinal area of your body bother you a little bit.
At times more, yeah, lately where normally it's not really something that
Mm-hmm.
bothers me.
But recently it's acted up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I feel an energy with you that on an emotional level, you're carrying things very deeply, and you could be the perfectionist that I want to make sure it's absolutely right. Well, that becomes a difficult energy because what you're doing is carrying the energy within you, and it's keeping you, in a sense, stirred up because your energy is one thing to the next all the time. And it's
Right.
like you need to slow down a little bit here and
Mm-hmm.
actually separate things enough that I'm doing one thing at a time and I can complete it and be comfortable and satisfied with it. Because you're not satisfied if it's not perfect.
Yeah, I was just thinking about this today. I was
Yeah.
thinking about
Now
uh,
you've been having some thoughts recently about a possibility of changing your vehicle.
I did just a little bit this past couple of weeks. I thought, oh, but I don't think I need to. I just thought about it. I don't know why.
Well, I don't feel what I would term a need to. What I felt was you're wanting to up your life in a more positive way and let yourself enjoy more, whereas times you've held back from letting yourself enjoy.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Now, your left hand has bothered you a little bit.
Yes, but
'Cause I
both
get
of them really.
I get pain in my knuckles in my hand, and I feel at times it's bothering you. And I feel after sleeping, sometimes your hand is swollen a little bit.
Yes, yes.
And I'm not a doctor and I can't prescribe, but I feel an energy there that I want to say there's something going on with you gathering fluid at times that I feel can be corrected through your diet.
Okay, well, that is very helpful. Yeah. I'm sensing everything you just said. I'm sensing all of it, and it's a really wonderful time for me to uh, feel more and more conscious of the spirit, my
Yes.
spirit. It's great.
Well, you've had a visitor stand by your bed and you'd wake up and they'd be gone so quickly that you really didn't understand who it was. They were just there.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel they're wanting you to know they're there to give you healing and to help you in direction. Let's say it this way. You're in tune with the spirit. Someone's cranking the dial up for you on the spirit side, and your desire and intent is cranking the dial up on your side. So
Right.
it's really working well because both of you are doing the same thing at the same time. And I want to say, let's go with that. I think it'll be fine. There's something trivial here. You have a ring that you're not wearing right now.
Yes.
And would there be something with it that is cracked or loose, or there's something about the ring that needs to be repaired?
Yes.
Because they were showing me the ring and they said, you need to have a few simple things in your life that you do for you that you would enjoy doing for you. And I feel the need to do that.
Okay. I definitely appreciate you, Reverend. I thank you so much.
You're welcome. God bless you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Claudia.
Likewise.
Thank you very much. Let's keep on moving. Leslie, you're up next on with Reverend Gregory Kehn.
Hi, Greg. It's always a joy to see you and to hear your messages.
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Good.
I
You
can't
have a
complain.
you have a question?
Well, actually, I'm always interested in a message from the other side. And I know that you can't control who is sending the message, but
Yeah.
I'm hoping that perhaps my sister or my mother might have a message for me.
Well, I do feel two entities with you. And I want to say the one woman that passed had a very difficult time with her organs shutting down. And when she passed, I feel she knew she was leaving. She accepted that she was leaving, but for a while had fought the whole idea, but then reached a point of acceptance where she was more at peace than with going on because she realized she couldn't be here and be normal in the manner she'd want to be.
I'd say that's true. I think that's my sister.
And would you understand her being pretty feisty?
hmm
Because I get a feisty energy there and I feel very independent energy, and she's with you a lot. And she's also shown me too, you curtailed a planned trip that you were going to take and you just sort of pulled back from it for a bit.
Yeah, probably about a year ago.
Well, would you recognize thinking about rescheduling something now that you've been looking at going towards, say, even May, that you're looking at the idea of making a move in that direction?
Okay, maybe.
Because I see enjoying it and I think it's going to work out well. There's also, now that was your sister, but I see your mom's energy, but I see a man standing beside her. And I felt when he went quickly. At the end, it was sudden. And I see him with you. And he said he loves you and watches over you.
It's my husband.
And he wants you to know he's there. And he apologized for being grumpy before he left.
I don't remember him being grumpy, but you know, we were all human. So
Well, think of it this way. I don't feel he was grumpy in the aspect of being mean. I just feel he was grumpy because he didn't understand what was going on for a while, but he was
Yeah.
actually pretty sick.
yeah, he wasn't feeling well. I
Yeah.
actually did see him not too long ago.
Well,
Visually. Yeah.
he's with you, mom's with you, sister's with you. They're all there hanging out. And also, who's the woman that would have done the crocheting?
That's my mother.
because I see crocheting, beautiful crocheting, and I feel like that energy is around you. And she said, you're not taking time to do some of the things you wanted to in that
Right.
level of hobby. And I feel the need to take the time and do that. I think that would work out very well for you.
Yeah, that's very true. The
Yeah.
there's some family issue going on. And I was just wondering, ask my mother and sister if they wanted to weigh in on that situation. I was hoping they might have something to say about it.
Well, let's say it this way. I'm pretty sure this is a sister, but she said she'd like to line a couple people up and smack them because she's very fed up with the idea that they want to have control where they should never have control and never attempt to have control, but they're trying to control.
Mhm.
That makes sense?
Yeah, it does. And especially coming from my sister, it makes a lot of sense.
Also, would there be another will involved if there was a question about the will?
No, I mean, for my mother or my sister, I have no idea what she has as far as a will, because it would have gone to, her child, but
Mhm.
yeah, I'm not aware of anything.
Well, I'll say it this way. I feel this goes back a bit. And I feel when the person died, it was a male. And there was some things done that he didn't care for after he had passed. And there was a couple people feeling they should be in charge of something where they shouldn't be.
I think you might be talking about my father-in-law. There was a
Okay.
will issue with my father-in-law.
Yes. Well, he's here also, and I feel peace with him. And he thanks you for the love and the patience.
I miss him.
I feel a really kind man, and I see him supportive of you.
Yeah, he would be there with my husband. It all makes sense.
Also, who would be the other gentleman that had part of a finger missing?
My father, my father.
Because he just came in and put his hand in front of me and was showing me part of a finger missing. And he said, you tell her that and she'll know me.
Yeah, my father. It was my father. He passed away when I was 11. Wow, that's really nice.
Well, he's with you, and I feel a great deal of support there. And it's really a wonderful feeling. And I see him working with you more, that you're going to have more awareness and more presence of them being there, that you're going to feel the guidance and the words. I hear them speaking, but sometimes it's almost like they're in another room and I can't quite hear them, but I'm hearing something. And they said, you need to be a little calmer, allow yourself to go a little deeper, and you'll be amazed at what they're going to be able to share with you.
Well, that's wonderful. I'm really shocked that my father's there. I really am
Mm-hmm.
surprised. But
Well,
that's so nice. I talk to him sometimes.
he said to me, he's been waiting to get through.
Really? He had to push my mother out of the way.
Yes, yes, you got that right.
Okay,
And,
Leslie, thank
oh,
you for
thank you.
working with Greg.
You're welcome,
Thank
on. God bless.
I wanted to mention to everybody that if you don't understand your screen the way it is, put your cursor in the top right corner where the word view is, and you can toggle back and forth between the whole gallery at once or zooming in on the person that's talking. And each one has their own control of that. Up next with us is John H. And John, you are asked to unmute yourself and you'll be on directly with Greg.
Hey, Greg, I have a lot of close family that have all passed away, and I've been thinking about them lately, just wondering if any of them have anything to say about what's going on in my life.
Well, there's two energies I felt immediately. There's three that passed as a group, and I feel they went 1, 2, 3 when they left. There was not a huge period of time between them. I feel they went pretty quickly, and there was 3 of them in a row.
Were they all girls?
Yes.
Wow. Yep, I got it. What do they have anything to say to me?
Well, I feel they're with you, number one, and I feel they're watching over things for you. But you have reached a point recently of stepping back from people and realizing I don't want to be in the drama anymore. And I feel like you've learned to step back enough from it to not allow it to go on the way it one time would have.
Lawyer, I was killing myself with my job and I just retired, stepped away from the courtroom.
Well, let me say it this way. I feel stepping away from the courtroom is wonderful because I really feel an energy there. Your tolerance for stupidity was getting a bit thin.
Thank you.
And I feel an energy that you are looking at what's going on now in a sense of courts and laws and all that. I feel there's a part of you very, very, very annoyed with that they're not carrying out what they need to carry out. And I've seen you sometimes looking at it and thinking, I don't want to be involved in that because I could see some people very mad at you that you would want to go after them on things and really nail them on it. And there's people there that just want to play games. And it's just amazing. The whole world has been so narcissistic and manipulative that it's amazing.
All right.
Now, where you are living, I feel fine there. But would you recognize you've been having a thought about changing the residency?
Sort of.
Because I feel a little debate going on as to whether you're really going to decide to change your residency or hang in where you are. But I feel the energy there that it's going to open up to you that there'll be another residency. But when that happens, it's really because you really want to. And I feel you'll love the energy of the place.
Good.
I see more connections with people, but I'm seeing you having people that are alive, living, and very gregarious. They want to enjoy life. And I feel like it's going to be a wonderful input for you because I feel there's one side of you that can be so serious. And then there's the other side of you that says, you know, I just need to let go of that. Somebody else can handle that now.
Right.
And go ahead.
You're reading it very, very directly. That's right. I think about the relatives, the men, the women, my cousins passed away, and my life is very different from any of theirs. And I just wonder if there's any of them that want to come and kick me in the butt for maybe I'm not on the path they think I should be on or anything like that.
Well, let me say it this way. Number one, your pathway is just fine. I feel with you, though, that I'm really seeing you getting into the closeness of friendships and the closeness of people that you love and care about. And I feel some very upright, honest people that are really good. And I'm seeing a gentleman on the spirit side of life. When he was in the living, he'd have come across gruff, but he was the gentlest guy in the world. And I saw him very supportive of you and family members, and he would do things to help people. And sometimes he didn't even know that it was him doing it. And he's with you. And he said from the spirit side, he's doing things to be uplifting to you and help you. He said, remember something, you know, we're not getting younger, we're getting older. And he said to me, he said, you're having to relax and enjoy your life. And I feel there's a part of you that had a framework for a long time there you worked within and functioned within that became too stressful to you.
Yes.
And it was a choice you were making to be there and do that. But now I see you stepping back and going, now what do I want to do?
Yes.
And I see a social gathering of people, and I wouldn't doubt it a bit if you get involved in a group of people that I don't know if this is a paid position or a volunteer position, but I'm seeing you helping and touching a lot of people's lives in a very positive way. And it's going to be wonderful for you to do so. You're going to have fun with it.
Anything about writing?
A lot about writing. I see you making up your mind because would you recognize you've already had some things written, but you didn't follow through on finishing them?
Sort of.
Because I feel they kept pointing at my head and going, it's already in there. He just needs to get it out.
Okay.
And would you recognize also part of the writing would be you writing, but part of the writing would be having someone pose to you the questions that you're needing to answer by explaining an answer for the questions. Would this make sense?
Definitely.
And I see you having a whole list of questions and have a very nice environment to sit down in a relaxed manner and let someone pose the questions. And that way you're answering them and you're recording them at the same time.
Hmm.
And that way it's not you just sitting and writing and writing and writing, you're recording it, and it's, you can then have it transposed to a written form. But I think the big thing would be putting it on a video and have segments of what you want to be sharing with the world.
Makes sense.
And I see that as so much easier than sitting and trying to write everything.
I'm doing a book now of my poetry. I'm going to give relative. I've been writing poetry since I was in high school.
Yes,
About that?
I feel wonderful with that, and I want to get it out there. But would you recognize it's not one book, but it's like 3 or 4 books?
Yeah.
Because I didn't see it as one book. I saw it lined up as three or 4 of them in a row.
Okay.
And that's wonderful. I think you're going to enjoy it. Also, you had an experience recently where your hip or your back area bothered you.
Yeah.
Because I get a little painfulness in my hip area and my real low back. And I feel like that has been there for a while now, but I'm seeing you going to someone and working with them that's going to help a lot. You're going to feel better.
Well, I saw a neurologist and he gave me a diagnosis of it. He said, too many birthdays.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, and let me say it this way. I don't see any problem with a lot more birthdays, but I see you getting an opportunity to work with someone that does like a physical therapy and a healing, and I feel like it's going to help you considerably. And besides that, you've resigned yourself a little bit now from being Superman.
Yeah.
And that's working out good. That's actually very positive energy.
That's
Now, in the past, did you enjoy gardening?
oh, yes.
Because I just see a woman in spirit. She shows me all these garden energies around you. And I want to say everything from things you'd grow to eat to the idea of flowers and things like that also. And I see that coming up because I feel the new place that you're going to be in the future is something that I'm seeing you making it beautiful and making it very usable. I mean, it's going to be usable. I see things coming out of the garden you can eat.
Mhm.
And I feel very good about that. I think it's going to work very nicely.
I have a.
Okay, John, thank you very much for your time.
Very much.
I want to move on and get as many people as possible. Thank you very much, Greg and John. I want to move on now to Margaret. You are on with Gregory.
Hi, Gregory. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Well, that's what I'm hoping to find out. I can't remember when we last talked, but as of yesterday, I'm on schedule in March for an operation on my head. And it's because I had a complication last fall with a disease I've had for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of wondering about that. The other thing is I think I irritate the surgeon for some reason. I ask too many questions. I don't know, but they have a very good.
It's your head.
Yeah, God, yeah. But they have a very good reputation. But I'm trying to understand sort of the.
Would you understand that there is something there now? I'm certainly not a doctor and I can't prescribe, but would you understand there's some sort of lesion or area that is like a little line and that they're wanting to go in and work on that?
They're trying to repair a leak.
Yes, because I just see this little like crack or open spot, and I
Yeah.
see them being able to do that. And don't be surprised if they put something in your head like super glue.
Yeah, that's the plan. The last chat was, though, it'll take care of one of two problems. One is a little herniation through that spine. The second one is a leak, which we think is at that area, but not 100% sure.
Yeah. Well, I'll put it this way, dear. Once they glue you back together, you're in great shape. Don't worry about it. I just feel the energy there that what they know to do, even though they have all this high level of technology, in the circumstance you have, it's not like sticking a camera in there and be able to look at it.
Mhm.
You know, they can see it in the sense of whatever they do is testing, but I feel where the leak would be and where this little, like, I'm not sure this is the right terminology, but like a little lesion area, because it's bubbled somehow. I
Mhm.
feel that can be taken care of in one surgery. I
Okay.
don't see this as something where in one part of your head's one thing and another part of your head's another. I feel like this is really close, and I feel it can be taken care of. I also feel a need to calm down a bit. Let's say it this way. You've definitely put your doctor to a test at times with how you ask questions. And I see him knowing his stuff really well.
Mhm.
I don't know if he realizes this, but I feel spirit works through him.
Mhm.
And they intuitively will have him look at something or check something or maybe go around something
Mhm.
and really figure out what's going on because it was done intuitively. It wasn't done just an analytical of here's what's on the x-ray or whatever.
Mhm.
And I feel he's super good at that.
Mhm.
So I want to say to you, not only you're putting it in God's hands, in a sense, you're putting it in your doctor's hands, but I feel God's working through your doctor.
Mhm.
And I honestly feel it'll be a good energy for you and you'll be fine.
Mhm.
Would you understand you have a weird sensation of sometimes feeling like your balance is a little out of whack?
Yeah, occasionally.
Because I just feel every once in a while, it's like I just feel really weird with it. And then, then it'll go away again. And I feel once you have your surgery done, I think you're going to notice that that's going to be something that's very seldom that would bother you at all. Also, I heard a woman in spirit say to me, God bless you, dear. We love you and we watch over you, but you're needing to let go of the idea of how old you are because there's a part of you that's looking at it and going, my God, I'm that old already. And I feel the need to let go of that because you're as young as you want to be. And if you think about it, even with the conditions you've had, you've been a very motivated person in a sense of going and doing and accomplishing.
Mhm.
You're going to be fine.
Okay. Well, my other side leaked a little bit. Will I have to get that repaired at some time?
I see it being repaired, but I have a feeling of them doing it in a new way that is just state of the art. And I feel they could do it so easily. And what they're going to do this time is more difficult. And the next thing would be very minor and they could go in and do it easily. And would you recognize that is also connected to a blood vein?
Yes, I have a stent in my head also to keep a vessel open.
Well, they were showing me the blood vein.
Side.
Well, they were showing me the blood vein and I want to reach to this part of my head, right
Yeah.
back here.
Yeah, it comes right here.
Yes. And would you understand it's underneath part of the bone structure?
Right. Mm-hmm. Right
Because
up the side of the skull.
okay, because I felt like right underneath the edge of the bone structure, I feel like there's a new way coming out. They're perfecting it now. And I could see them be able to reach in there really relatively easily and take care of it easily. Wouldn't be a problem. And the stent's in there and it has kept you alive and it has kept you healthy. But would you understand they were debating about whether they would think about taking it out or not?
These days they can't take them out.
Mm-hmm. Well, I see a doctor looking at it and he's figuring out how he can work with this and make sure that it doesn't do anything to disturb you. And I feel you're going to be fine.
Am I ever going to get overseas or traveling again after all of this?
Well, I think you're going to be doing a lot of traveling in the future. I just feel an energy there of giving yourself enough time to heal where you really heal because there's a part of you there. I mean, nothing's ever fast enough. We got to get it done now. And I felt an energy with that. You know, I should have been there by now. I should have accomplished it by now. It should have been done and over with by now. And I want to say,
Virgo.
I just feel this energy of let's be patient with that. And I would comment to your doctor that I know God works through you.
Okay.
And I would let him know that you know that he's a wonderful gift in helping people and that you know that God works through him.
Margaret,
And
go ahead,
that's
Jim.
that's going to help a lot.
Margaret,
Mhm.
I'll tell you a tidbit. It's not Virgos that get in a hurry. It's Virgos that fall prey to the illusion that they make 10 widgets today. They have to make 11 widgets tomorrow. And the 12 widgets is even better. It's an illusion. It's not true. And
Mhm.
that's where the difficulty is. Thank you for all your questions, Margaret,
Thank you.
very much. Okay, we're going to move on, trying to give about 5-6 minutes to each person so we can get everybody in. We don't want to break any promises. Ginger, you're up next. I've got you unmuted. Go ahead.
Hello, Dr. Greg.
Hi, how you doing?
Good. It's been about a year since we last spoke.
Okay. You have a
And
question?
you were dead accurate the last time. I've been
Okay.
working on making the changes.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason why I'm in tonight is my mother passed on New Year's Eve.
Oh,
And
God bless
I
her.
had, pardon?
God bless her.
Yeah, she's at peace now. And I almost crossed myself on January 5th due to a complex partial seizure and a blood pressure drop.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was deciding whether I was going to stay or not, my mother came in and said, "Please don't come. Love you later," which is the same, which is the last text she sent me on my phone too.
Well,
And
I was just going to say to you,
it's,
I feel your mother shoved you back over here.
she what?
She shoved you back over here, back in the body, because it wasn't your time to go. But the event that occurred of you leaving the body, which you did leave the body. I mean, you literally did step out of the body.
Right.
Well, when I was 11 years old, I died 3 times in a week, and I went through the tunnel of light. And
Yeah.
I came back with a lot of knowledge and memory of what's coming in the world. And I'm still watching some of those things occur. Now, your experience, I feel you stepped out of the body.
Mhm.
It's something that you really couldn't describe at all, but you know you weren't here in the conscious. And I
Right.
feel you're now finding information and guidance coming through to you that at times you're not even thinking about or looking for or trying to do, but it's coming through to you. In the experience of you stepping out of the body, you've also now opened a channel that spirit can work with you and speak to you in ways that's through feeling and emotions, and you're having that
Yes.
happen.
Yes, all the time.
Yes.
Constant.
And I feel that was a wonderful gift, even though other people look at it and say, my God, she died, you know. It's like,
Right.
hey, you know, when I finally got back here and I felt all right, I said to my mom, I said, took them 3 times to convince me. All right. You do it once, you're fine. I just see you
Well,
opening up spiritually more and more now to having and knowing what's really there and that they're guiding you. And you could have, now remember, when spirit works with us, this is for everybody. When spirit works with us, they practice with us in small, subtle things. And if we follow the small, subtle things, they get bigger and they get more important and they become more apparent. And we're needing to really recenter ourselves as a soul to know why we're here. At a soul level mind, we know and understand why we're here and what we're doing and, you know, all those things. On a conscious mind I refer to is always trying to catch up. You know, the conscious mind's trying to figure it out. Well, if we're trying to figure it out just on a conscious basis, boy, can we muck it up. And
yes, we can.
you're following through more in a way now of trusting. You know, when you have something come to you intuitively and it's strong, and you have no physical evidence in the physical world around you that supports it, but yet you know what you know.
That's
Follow
happening
it.
more and more.
Follow it, go with it, don't keep debating it. I quit looking for the tangible evidence there. If they tell me this, I go with it. I mean, I have a few friends of mine that in different circumstances, they've said to me, I don't know how you can just trust it. It's like walking off a cliff and knowing there's an invisible bridge. And I said, well, I just trust that feeling because they wouldn't give it to me if it wasn't for me to be guided. And that's what I see you learning to do is allow yourself to go with the flow of it and not stand there at the edge and go, well, I got to question this. You know, I have to debate this. It's like, no debate, honey, go for it.
Seriously, even those crazy ideas I've had.
You're
Mhm.
not crazy. I've been watching your chart too. You're a Libra, right?
Libra rising, yeah.
Yeah, well, what that means is Greg and I are very close in thinking. As a Libra, Libra's main strength is their rational mind. You're an ideal leader. But at this time, that's all being replaced because we're really not our sun sign. We're much more than our sun sign. Your Libra is being trumped by this Piscean Neptune energy that's exactly like Greg is describing, only I would say it's much stronger and is much more to be trusted.
Huh, interesting.
It's real. It's the real thing. It's the heart opening. He's exactly right. Okay, thank you, Ginger. We're going to
Thank
move
you,
on.
Rick, and thank
Yeah.
you, Greg.
I'm
You're
gonna
welcome, dear.
Move
God
on
bless
to a
you.
question I am having now. Today is the 17th. 3 days from now is the 20th of February. Pluto will return to the spot it was on the 4th of July, 1776. This is a massive, massive transit spiritually for the United States chart. It's why the country's going through what it's going through and other countries, etc. Now, since I had these conflicts in my dates, I had to move it up a few days. So next week, I will have Stephen Poplin, the astrologer, hypnotist, on with me. We'll both be talking about the 20th, which is this Sunday. This kind of thing does not happen in one day. This is a massive shift that's gone on for at least 10 years, go on for at least the next 40 years. It's us redefining what an America really is. It's us paying the price for any possible misuse of power. So there are tremendous, powerful planetary forces at work. I will be following up with those next week with Stephen, and then several weeks later, probably we'll have Jennifer Ivanko on. Now, before I return, I wanted to ask Greg, what are you seeing in terms of this massive identity crisis that is the USA bound?
Well, let's put it simply. All hell's going to break loose
That's exactly right.
because I really
All hell is
feel
going to break loose.
the energy of narcissistic thinking, action, and deeds have been going on for a few years now. And you look at the people that are in power and the stupidity that they display amazes me. And you see different things like prosecutors at one level, they're not prosecuting people. They just had a guy down here, he drove along in his car shooting at people, and he was out on bail within a few hours. And he's back out on the street. Now, I'm sorry, you know, he's shooting at people with live rounds, driving around in the city doing that. And police do their job. They bring him in and they turn him loose, and he's back out on the street. And the cops are saying he's a total menace, but yet.
But for the average American that sees such a vast change coming to the country, what can the average American person do during the next 10 years?
Well, I'll put it simply. We're needing to go back to basics. We're needing to go back to the idea of what do we need to do in our lives that is personally dependent on what we're doing and accomplishing. And the idea now, like when we had the pandemic hit Florida and everybody from New York dumped down to Florida, I had the feeling that we need to stock up on things. And this before the pandemic really hit in a way that everybody was responding to. And stocked up, you know, toilet paper, whatever you needed. All right. We stocked up. Everything was fine. I never had a problem. We never had a problem. But I see people that are trying to ignore the changes that are occurring.
Right.
And they're trying to push it away like, oh, I'm just fine the way it is. The world is just fine the way it
Yeah.
is. And I want to say, you know, I'll speak bluntly and say we're in deep shit.
We're deep shit.
And we're going to have to wake up and realize here that these events that are occurring are people that are very misguided, whether it's through their own ego or whatever. They're very misguided. The energy has to occur. You know, the old proverbial thing of it has to get worse before it gets better. Well, baby, you don't know how bad it's going to get.
That's exactly where we are right now. Thank you very much. And I'm glad, like usual, for the past 40 years, you and I have been seeing eye to eye. Carolyn, you're up next. And hate to interrupt, but I want to put you all back on in touch with Greg.
No, thank you. Hi, Greg.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Okay, you now
Sunny
now
Florida.
now now I know where you're at. You lit up, so I can tell where you're at now.
Hi, I just got this overhead light. I probably need to put a lamp in this room. But I was going to ask you, do you see any changes in my career this year? I went through I've been going through maybe a 2-3 year roller coaster ride with my job and my company, and I'm still with them. And I've kind of reached a point where I'm like trying to do the Zen thing, like whatever happens, I'm going to be okay with it. Because
what kind of work you doing now?
I work for a defense contracting company, Northrop Grumman, and right now I'm fortunate enough to be working from home, remote, so I don't have to go into an office or whatnot. And I really love working remote. Let me tell you, that is just the greatest thing ever.
Well, one of the things I was feeling when you were saying that, I felt an energy with you of staying remote as long as you possibly can. And the other energy I felt was you have some people in there that I would term power mongers.
That's the nice way of putting it. Yes.
I had a stronger thought, but we'll let it go at that.
Yes,
But
rated G.
the energy that I feel in the company itself, there's a huge problem with the power mongers. They're all wanting to look better than the other guy, and they've lost focus on what they're there for and what needs to be done. And I feel you've actually been at times seeing where they're putting their energy into things that was a waste of time and energy, and they should have backed off, regrouped, and went in another direction, which would have worked fine then. But because they couldn't allow their ego to be damaged in any way, they're gonna push things through no matter what. Even though there's 10 things better, you know, they're gonna push this one thing through. And I want to say, you know, it's tough because you're a worker, and I feel in many ways you should be the boss in handling things because you like taking it right down the line, 1, 2, 3, and get it in order. And I feel the energy there that you recently, well, a little more than recently, you started to step back a bit within the company and just feel like, you know what, if they give me that order, that's what I do.
Well,
And
yeah, I actually used to be the boss, and then I got my throat cut, and I worked so hard for this company. Think that the harder I work, because I'm a Virgo, the harder I work, the better things will be for myself, for the company, etc. And I just watched what I just never would have pictured anything like this would have happened. Politics, it's politics, it's not work.
Well, let's put it this way. I feel you got a lot going on there where it's way beyond politics, also at a very high level. And there's so many games going on. It's like, who's going to pull the rope where the floor falls off from under somebody? And they're all running around to see who's going to pull the next rope to get to where they want to go. And I want to say to you, mouth shut, say nothing to them about anything that you're thinking. You just let them roll, because I feel they're headed for some disaster, and they're going to be trying to throw anybody under the bus they possibly can because they don't want to get caught for their own stupidity. I see your paycheck and job, you're fine. You'll be there. It's no problem. I see you looking at it when they do come to you and want to ask you questions behind the scenes. I just see you very simply saying, I'm sorry, that's not my job. I have no idea. And
That sounds good.
don't even go into any explanation, even though I really do feel you have answers and you could be giving them guidance that would be very valuable, but nobody would put your name on it. They'd all want to claim things for themselves. So just sit back and watch, let them roll. Whatever they want to do, have at it. If they're going off the cliff, take a parachute.
Huh? The thing that I came to, the conclusion that I've come to over the amount of stress in my life
Mhm.
last 5 years has been so high and so significant. And now that I'm not the boss and I'm not getting involved in their drama, that I can come to a place and just be calm and put my time in and just be done with it. And no,
Well, let's say it this way. You're crossing your T's and dotting your I's for everything they want you to do, and you're doing it very well. There's nothing they can question. But when it finally blows up, I mean, literally blows up, it's going to be a circumstance then that, hey, here's my job. This is what I've done. Everything come out perfectly. Don't worry about it. I see some heads rolling, and I could see some people there that I don't know how they got the position they're in.
Carolyn, you're in a dangerous situation. You need a reading because you need to be out of that job, and staying in that job and BSing yourself is not how you do this. This is a
Mhm.
dangerous.
oh, no. I want to point out that I have,
You need to be out of that job soon.
I'm applying to
Because the
jobs.
stress,
I'm
the
interviewing.
stress, the stress is because
Yes.
you're forcing yourself to stay.
Mhm.
Well, no, and this is where I'm kind of asking God, where do you want me to go? What do you want me to do?
That will come after you leave.
Well, the job is what I'm saying, is I keep saying, God, when are you going to send me a better job? When is the change going to happen? And
What do you think's happening now with two people messaging you now? You're being told now. You got
yes,
to.
and I do have to find
you-
another job. Yes.
Carolyn, you need to examine the things you're BSing yourself about why you're staying. That's the problem. I need to move on. Thank you very much, but I really suggest you get an astro reading, and I think Greg knows exactly what I'm talking about. Thank you. Okay. I've been trying to message Jay. Jay is ready to go. Jay, you are on with Reverend Greg.
Hi, Greg. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm a graduate of the School of Prophecy and Healing.
Oh, okay.
So really, really drawn to be on this chat tonight.
Yeah.
So I really only have one question. Who is the noisy person that's constantly knocking on my bookcase that I'm not paying attention to?
Wow. Wow.
Who is playing with my face while I'm working in my office like a bug?
Mm-hmm. Well, let's say it this way. There's a
He's gonna
conscious
tell you too.
there's a conscious part of your mind that's trying to stay focused on what you're doing in the office and your work. But there's another part of you that it's like you have the ability to go much further in using your intuitive abilities. And also mediumship in a sense of feeling and sensing things for not only yourself, but for others. And there's been a period of time there that you haven't really had the focus and be really, truly centered. You've been diverted by all these things around you. Would that make sense?
Sure.
And I see you now creating a silent period on a daily level that's just plain quiet. I just want to be quiet. I want to be peaceful. And I want to put forth the energy of thought. And I'll say it in this term, putting it in a sense of intent. Spirit world, I'm giving you this time. Please share with me in a way that I may understand, because there's an analytical part of you that's very strong, and you're caught up in the analytical world in the sense of your work and all the stuff you do. But I felt the other part of it would be, you sometimes feel like I can't leave it sit still. I have to move on to work and get it all done. And you have a very difficult time where I can do something and achieve it. It's done, it's ended, I can close the book on it. But on another level, I want to go back through the book and I want to check it again. That makes sense?
Oh, yeah.
And I feel it really disturbs you a great deal more than people know, that if you did something or present something and they see a flaw in it, I mean, it could be misspelled words, for example, but it would really disturb you because it's like, I want to do it right. And what kind of work are you doing now?
I work for the health insurance company. I do very, very detailed database and analysis and
Mm-hmm. Well, would you recognize that the company itself, there's some people in power in that company that you really don't agree with?
I'm going to take the fifth and not.
Well, let's say it in this term. You're looking at things being done and something that the person benefits and the company benefits, and we can both benefit in a really positive way. And I see some people there that they're only going to benefit. And if it squeaks out of their fingers, they have a fit because they gave too much.
Mm.
And I feel that on a moral level, you're at times finding yourself feeling frustrated where some of these folks, the way they think and the way they act, they almost like remove the person and the circumstance out of the decisions. And the decisions are being made in an egotistical manner and a financial manner. And no matter what the sort of guidelines or rules would say, well, if it's going to be a little more than we want it to be, we just won't do it.
Mm.
And I feel there's a part of you that your sensitivity is very good and you're very deep with what you feel. But I also feel you're finding yourself in a conflict at times that I'm supporting and working with some things that I honestly really don't believe in how they do what they do.
You're very accurate, Greg.
And I feel another energy there that you have a couple people that are in a high level position that I know you've spoken to and you could even be friends with, but it's like, I'm seeing you looking at some of that and you've been having some thoughts that it's like, all right, how can I get into a little different position where I don't have to be involved directly in the manner that you have, but yet I can still make a good paycheck and be very prosperous in the sense of helping people.
I do like helping people, yes.
And that I see opening up to you. And I feel that going into the spring, there's a shift of energy you're going to have an opportunity to do that I'm not sure right now it's a job change completely, but I feel there's an avenue you're going to be able to take that was really be very fulfilling to you. You know, it'd be something you'd enjoy. And I see a lot of people helped by you doing what you'd be doing and enjoying doing it. So they're benefiting, you're benefiting, the company's benefiting, everyone's benefiting. So it's like, I see that coming up as a nice option. And the entity that's wrapping on the bookcase is a new entity, not an old entity in a sense of your guides and teachers have been there forever. I feel this is a new entity. I also feel extraterrestrial energy with this. You had an experience a short time ago of thinking you saw something in the sky that wasn't the regular planes and all that stuff.
Yes, I did. Repeat.
Because this entity showing me that they said you looked at us before and we were in the sky, and they come to you because you're open and you recognized it. They're coming to you and rapping on that to say, we're here. And it's a different frequency than what I'd say normally you feel from spirit, you know, our loved ones have passed or something.
Yeah, it is. It feels like somebody new because they're knocking at the front door instead of just coming in and talking to me.
Mm-hmm. The knocking on the bookcase and the knocking on different things there, I feel there's a vibrational difference between spirit and them. Now, think of it in this form. They're living entities in another dimensional level. They're able to step through to a dimensional level that we can recognize that there's something there or somebody there, that the noises. And they're saying the more they practice with you, the closer you're becoming to understanding and feeling it, and you're recognizing it more readily. And as it is recognized more readily, they'll be able to communicate better, where then I'll be able to understand what they're doing and why.
Oh, that's the quiet time. Okay.
Yes. And
Yeah.
having the quiet time will
Morning.
make the difference.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? That's pretty important. Thank you. I don't know if anybody's heard of this, but Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, there are some thoughts out there that these interdimensional beings are here to help.
Yes, they
I
are.
can vouch for Greg. What he's telling you is correct and it's real. And I've experienced it with him.
Okay.
I have an entity that's one of my guides that when I was a small child, that entity would come to my bedroom at night and he'd reach out and take my hand and he'd say, let's go for a walk. And we would pass stars and we'd pass galaxies. He took me places where we were sitting watching events going on that had absolutely no connection to the earth plane. And I had that happen for years and years. And that entity is still with me and still works with me, along with my other guiding entities that have been around me forever. I have some entities that I remember as a child, as a baby, seeing their face over the crib. And I remember them coming to me and guiding me and protecting me. I've been, my grandmother used to say to me, you work your guardian angels overtime. Because boy, I've put them to a test many times.
Thank you so much, Greg. Thank you.
God bless you, Jay. Good luck with
Hey,
everything.
God bless you now. Enjoy and be open to it.
Yes.
I think as you set that intent to say, please show me in a way that I may understand, you'll get it.
Thank you, Jay. Okay, Diane, you're up next. Where'd Diane go?
I'm here.
There you go. You're on with Greg. Go ahead.
Okay. Hi, Greg.
Hi.
Am glad to have a chance to work with you. We've never spoken. I think I was on one of Rick's shows where you were there and we had audio problems, so I wasn't able to connect.
Oh, okay.
I really hadn't thought much about what I might ask you,
Yeah.
but there are some things going on. I just recently decided to postpone my retirement. I was going to retire because I felt like it was time for me to expand into something slightly different than what I've been doing. But then I decided I'm only working 2.5 days. I think I'll kind of hold on to that. But I'm not really sure what the next step looks like. And I've, explored a lot of different things, but if you have any.
What kind of work do you do now?
I'm currently a psychotherapist.
I feel very good with that because I see the mediumship around you and, you're quote training in what would be the natural schools and things like that. I think that's wonderful. It's helpful, but I feel you fly by the seat of your pants there because you do it in an intuitive manner and you do it in that manner. And yeah, here's all these little guidelines, but I mean, you're doing it in the intuitive manner and it works very well for you. And you've been really quite successful at it. The other part would be you're shifting gears now. I don't feel you're ready to retire. I don't feel you're ready to change things in a sense of reaching out and helping people. I think you're still doing that. But what I also feel is the times that are coming in the world right now and how absolutely insane it'll be for a bit, having you have work, and I actually feel you may step it up and be doing more work than what you're presently doing because people are really going to be in need. And I feel your ability to step up and help them will be there and it's wonderful. It'll be fine. The other energy would be you're at a point in your life right now where, okay, I've done all these things for everybody else. Now, what do I want to do for me, personally me, not just family or the neighborhood, but I mean, really personally you. And that's what I see now looking at fulfilling is what steps am I taking in that direction? And I felt wonderful to take those steps. And I heard a lady in spirit say to me, she doesn't look her age, feel her age, or act her age. She just needs to let herself be who she really is. Because there's a part of you that at moments gets pulled into the belief system, of people. And it's like, oh, they're getting old, they're this, they're that, and I laugh about it. I mean, I'm 69 now, and I mean, when I had the birthday, it was like, wait a minute, this feels really strange because I don't feel any different. You know, I mean, I can still go canoeing and camping and all these things I want to do. I go. The energy of that with you is very similar. You're needing to have, while you have the time, because I see going back to being busier again, while you have the time, let's go do some things you really, truly heartfelt enjoy. And I felt like that's wonderful because there's a need to.
The things he's saying are true because he's right. The shit has hit the fan. It's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And you've seen a plethora of trainers, of energy workers come out of the woodworks for the last 30 years. And now it's bubbling up to this phenomenal level. We need all the healers we can, all the teachers we can out there teaching, because there are so many people that really want to learn. They just don't know what to do. So don't worry about it. You will be led to your place because God's watching this. The Holy Spirit is going to direct you and is going to know how to use you efficiently. Diane, you will be under great demand, and don't worry about it. You will be led.
Diane, you had a difficulty a little while ago where you dealt with someone that had multiple personality.
I'm not aware of that.
Well, let me share this with you. I feel someone came to you and in one personality level, you could work with them, they'd progress, they'd change, they'd grow. Everything was really very good. And I feel they at times could switch to another energy, another almost like an identity in a sense. And I feel an energy with you. This may come up that you'll recognize it.
Okay.
I had a person come in for a reading one time and they had absolutely at least 3 personalities, if not 4. And I started the reading with her and I'm working with her and she's sitting there and I watched her whole facial expression change. Her whole body movement changed. Her voice even changed. And I immediately said to her, I said, I want the other one back. I don't want to talk to you. I want the other one back. And immediately switched back. And the girl sat there and cried. And she goes, how did you do that? And I said, I'm not putting up with the negativity. You and I need to communicate. So we're communicating. And the next time she came back, she had been to a therapist for years. The next time she came back, she said, I have the ability now to be the one person. I know the others are there, but I have the ability now to put like a plexiglass between me and them. And I know they're there, but they have no effect on me anymore. And I feel your ability to pick up on people because I see more people having that difficulty in the stress time we're in. It's a form of escaping the stress energies that they may be involved in. I've seen it also where, rape would be involved, a torturing energy, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, whatever form it may take. But I feel you're tapping in deeper. You're in a sense of making a shift to your own intuitive ability in a deeper way. So it's going to be stronger yet.
Well, it's interesting. I just today met with someone who's going to do the Reiki training with me. Of the attunements, and that feels like that's really important. Going back to the idea of doing things for me, I think what gets confusing is, the things I love and I'm passionate about are spirituality, understanding people. So it's
Right.
It often doesn't feel like there's a strong line between my work and what I enjoy.
Right.
And
Well,
I don't know if I'm missing something that should be even more for myself or.
Well, let's say it this way. When I was 8 years old, my father asked me what I wanted to do when I grew up. And at 8 years old, I had torn apart a lawnmower that didn't run. I fixed it, put it all back together and ran fine. And I had never had any training. And he said to me, he goes, what do you want to do when you grow up? He was very mechanical. I could build things. I built little boats and floated them in a creek and everything. And I said to him, I said, I want to work in the Healing Temple at Lilydale. And that was 2 services a day. I wanted to do the healing temple and I wanted to read for people. Well, he was so stunned by what I said that he didn't know what to do with me. So he didn't say anything. And years of my life, I gave messages up at Lowdale when I was 8 years old. And, you know, I'm 69 now and I'm still doing the same thing. And it's one of the oldest spiritualist communities in the world. And I love it there and I love the energy there. And you're finding now that you love that energy, not just the people involved, but the energy there. And the energy helps you be youthful, helps you be right here, right now, and dealing with everything. And you're able to do it beautifully. And I feel with you to continue doing it is a wonderful thing. But I feel the times that are coming that are really coming in strong, boy, are they going to hit home. I mean, it scares me how I see people depending on so many things that they're not taking charge of themselves. They're not in control of themselves. They're not even providing for themselves. They're dependent on all these things function in the world just fine. Well, that's going to come to a screeching halt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feel that, definitely.
Yep, definitely. Definitely. But you're going to be fine with that. And I think that's going to make such a difference for you and you'll be happy.
Diane, thank you.
Thank you so much, Greg.
You're welcome, dear. God bless you.
Greg. We'll
Bless
move
you.
on to the next person, which is Pat G. Pat, you're on with Greg.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. I would like to know what my fate is regarding my eyes. I seem to be having less distinct vision. And the other day I got lost in a place that I was really accustomed to at night.
I feel 2 things with you. Would you recognize that an eye doctor talked about giving you a shot in the eye?
Yes, a laser in one eye that I already had a macular pucker in.
Well, let me say it to you this way. I feel the energy of the laser helps, but the laser also removes a tiny little area of vision. And if you do too many lasers, you know, that would affect you where it affects your vision even more. Now, in one way, you're cauterizing arteries and you're keeping it from bleeding more, which then gives you the cloudiness. But I feel you're going to get straightened around with that. And I feel the one eye will be better than the other. But I had the feeling of you actually checking out one of the specialists that really deals with people that have had blindness. And I've heard of things happen where the blindness, you know, they got their sight back more, maybe not 20/20, but certainly got it back more. And I feel an energy with you that I want to say, let's read about it and look at it in a sense of go on the computer and research it a bit. But I see some doctors that could work with you that are new energy, new way of handling it, and it'll help you considerably.
Oh, I would be glad, so glad to discover who they are.
Well, I see you researching a bit, and I think it's going to come up with the people you need, and that they'll be able to work with you, and it's going to be a good energy for you. Would you understand your left eye has been worse than the right?
I think, well, my right eye is worse. That's the one that I got the surgery. But my left eye has decided that the moon is now the shape of a lima bean. So,
Well, let me say it this way. I feel that the layers of what's inside the eye, something is off and out of alignment, and it's also hazy. And I feel that they're going to want to use a laser to remove the haziness. And I feel there's a way of doing it that would make a big difference for you. And I know you'll be doing better. And I also want to say too, you thought for a little while there you were losing your mind.
I think so, because
And I don't see you losing your mind there. I feel the stress you've been under in a deeper way. You know, we may have a gauge that says this is how stressed I am, but there are many times there's more stress underneath that we're not even getting on the gauge or recognizing. And I feel a need for you to be calmer with that energy and to look at the idea of you doing the meditative time and setting the intent to be listening and be aware of what Spirit's giving you. I feel there's a woman around you on the spirit side that when she passed, she had a difficult time with lungs and heart. And I see her very close to you and helping you. And she said, "Dear, it's not as bad as you're sometimes thinking it'll be. It's going to be working better." Okay. I couldn't hear you there.
Yes, I hear you. I don't know about the lungs and heart. This woman, I'm trying to figure out who it is.
Well, I see this lady with you. I know it's family and I know she's close and I want to go back either mother or grandmother because I get an older lady, but I see her with you and supportive of you all the time.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
She wasn't so supportive in real life, you know.
Well, I think you're going to be amazed how much can be done with a new way of being able to do things. It's really going to help you.
Pat,
Okay.
thank you very much. Moving on to Joao. Joao, you're on with Greg.
Hi, Reverend. How are you
Hey,
doing?
doing good. Doing good. How are
Good.
you doing?
It's been an interesting past couple months. I will,
Mhm.
especially the very last month has been a bit of an interesting dichotomy. One part of my life is phenomenal, and one part of my life is just terrible. But I keep focusing on the positive and what's working.
Well, let me say it this way. I feel an energy around you. Now, I know you had spoken earlier and talked about being in another country and things like that. I feel comfortable with that, but would you recognize you've actually considered the idea of literally living over there?
Yes, I did briefly. I'm not thinking about that right now. I could potentially come back when I retire,
Yes.
but not at the moment. Right now, I'm in my mom's place,
Mhm.
and you know, it's literally a piece of paradise where I
Yeah.
am right now, and she's leaving me here by myself. She's very fortunate. She has two properties, so I'm in one, she's in the other one. But
Yeah.
whenever we're together, it's I gotta go. It's let's just say that.
Well, let me say it to you this way. I feel in another lifetime, you were the father and she was the daughter.
Still kind of feels that way.
Yes. And I feel that energy is there. And I feel the two of you could be fire and water at times. And I feel the energy for you that I'm seeing you learning to be able to step back a bit. And I'm loving her where I can, when I can, and how I can, without allowing it to be something that I get drawn into the drama. And your ability to be able to do that's working wonderfully. That's really helped. And how old is your mother now?
78.
Would you recognize with her that off and on, not all the time, but off and on, she's having a little trouble where she's misguided in her thinking is out of balance?
I would say 97% of the time.
Okay.
I'm exaggerating. That's a joke, but yeah.
Well, I'll say it this way. I feel there's a time coming that I want to say you're going to be best friends. Don't fall off the chair now. But I feel an energy there that I could see you being best friends because I feel she is going to bypass the control factor that she likes to have. And I could see her in need, and I could see you being there for her and bringing her an honest depth of calmness and bringing her a level of security of her knowing you're there in a positive and loving manner, and that you would make decisions for her or help her in whatever way is necessary. I actually see the two of you really having a very close relationship in the future. Now, I'm going to be bluntly honest here. She's slipping a bit. And I feel there's an energy around that. As long as she can function independently, that's great. But I see her slipping a bit. And I see you being able to help her in a calmer energy. You know, I said to a friend of mine one time, she's passed away at 97. And I said to her, I said, what's it like to have new friends every day?
Hmm.
And she looked at me and she started laughing like crazy. And a couple of family members were there and they were just in shock that I would say that. And I said to them later, I said, stop going around the bush. You know, this is what's really going on. And she knows it, but she's trying to pretend it isn't there. And
Yeah.
I feel you and her are actually going to become quite close communicatively and sharing. And I see her one day reaching a point that I think will completely shock you, but I see her handing over to you the reins to handle things. And you'll handle them just fine.
It's interesting because last week she fell for a scam.
Mhm.
And she lost some money, not a whole lot of money, but significant amount of money.
Yeah.
And I've quietly worked around, you know, speaking to lawyers and stuff, what we could do, because the law in Brazil is such that she's actually protected. And I
Yeah.
found we just need to go to the bank, fill out some forms, sign a paper. She's refusing to go to the bank, and I've just had to step away because I'm like, I can't force her. You know, you can force a,
Yeah.
you know, a horse to water. You know, you can
Yeah.
take it there, but you can't force it to drink. So,
Yeah.
but I'm going to shift here for a second, because my real question is, today for the first time, I was starting to look at tickets to move on with my trip and go to Portugal, because that was the goal
Mhm.
to begin with. And within the next couple months, is that the right time finally? You know, because we've been talking
Yes.
about this for a while.
Yes, I could see you doing that and I feel no problem with it. I just want to say, as we go into summer, as we step into summer now, I'm speaking summer in the US here because I'm not
Yeah.
sure what season you're in over there.
Yeah,
But
I gotcha.
I feel the energy of summer. We are going to have some real results of people having to wake up. And when this happens, I see things getting really shaky in a sense of finances and travel, and all these things are going to get really nuts. So I want to say, make sure you have your passport in hand, up to date, everything's in order. And that way, if anything comes up, I'm good to go.
Interestingly, because the reason why I came to Brazil was actually to get all my Brazilian documentation in order. And
Mhm.
just this past Monday, everything is up to date.
Good.
And you know, all my Canadian documentation, because I'm a dual citizen, is up to date. So I've got
Good.
my 2 passports and everything. And okay, so this summer I should be doing something. Okay.
Well, let's
Um,
say it this way. This summer, we're going to have, and I think Rick has probably seen this and talked about it too. There's things that are going to be happening that people that are not aware, they're very unaware, and in some levels don't want to be aware. And they're going to get smacked with reality that they had better wake up and they had better simplify their life a bit and get things in order, or they're in real deep shit.
Yep.
And that's not just here, that's all over.
The whole
Mhm.
country. Ciao, thank you. I gotta
Can I-
move on. A lot of
Can I
people.
say one
One real
thing
fast one, yes.
very fast? The
Very
person in my
fast.
apartment right now in Canada, good person?
Good person, pay the bills, no problem. But I do feel an energy, they're not going to stay a long time.
Okay.
Okay, that was a good answer. Thank you
Thank you.
very much. Let's move right on. Now, Sandy, you're up. I'm trying to get
Thank you,
everybody
sir.
on. Sandy, you're with Greg. Make your
Thank you.
questions precise, please.
Thank you so much. So very generous of you, Rick and Greg. No, I don't have a precise question. I couldn't decide whether to go with my health or my financial situation or family.
Well,
or home.
let's start this way. I feel you had some misdiagnosis in the past with health. They didn't catch what was going on and they needed to, but they didn't. And now I feel it's obvious. And now you know what it is and why it is and how it's happening. But I see you getting things straightened around more. And I feel that there's a period of time there that you feel like you wasted a lot of time with not getting the answers you needed. Would that be correct?
Yes.
And also, would you recognize also there's been a problem where your muscles in your body are sometimes feeling weaker than they should be?
Yes.
because I get this strange sensation of my body feeling all of a sudden weak. And it's not all the time, but I mean, it's like off and on. You could just feel like my mind's saying, I got to get up and go do this, but I'm too weak. And I feel you're going to be able to get that straightened around more. And I also felt energy too. I don't know who in your area or where you live, but I get a feeling here of looking at someone that is more naturopath and that they could work with you herbs and natural remedies that would be addition to going to a doctor. And I felt that would be a huge help to you to get your body back in order and to rebuild the energy that you have sometimes felt like you lost.
Yes, I have lost energy.
Yes. Go
I
ahead.
have a shoulder implant, and I'm afraid that I have become allergic to the metal.
Mm-hmm. I'll confirm that. I'll confirm that. But would you recognize that shoulder implant is actually made out of 2 metals?
Or more, yes.
Well, the reason I say that, I feel one part of it, I have no problem with at all. You know, your body would function just fine. And then the other metal, I feel like you're having, I don't know if I term it swelling, but like there's an irritation in that area.
Yeah. Yes.
And I have a feeling here of you going to someone that could really confirm things for you and get that straightened around where you know what it is and you know how you can treat it to balance the body and to get the body in a balanced form where it's not going to be having the effect on you that it's had.
Oh, wow. Well, that would be helpful. I have no idea who that might be, but I was thinking, I'm in Pittsburgh. I was thinking
Okay.
that detoxing is the only thing I can
Well,
really think.
I was just going to say to you, I would look at the idea of chelation and I would look at chelation as an opportunity to detox. I went to a chelation doctor one time and I went 18 trips and my hair color was coming back. And the regular medical doctor that I was going to, he was shocked that the metal content of my body had dropped so completely in the treatments I was getting from the other one. And the other gentleman used to be a heart surgeon. And he would say, I used to open up vessels and change vessels and all kinds of things in the heart. And he quit. He quit. He went completely with working with what flows through the body. And, you know, you have it intravenously and it goes through your body. Well, I know a gentleman that was off the chart with heavy metals. I mean, off the chart. I mean, the doctor that worked with him said, I don't know how you're alive. He did the chelation. He got to a point where he was actually on the scale where they could see his condition on the scale, which didn't exist before that. And he got it down to the point that it was really normal. And it was all chelation that did it. He changed his skin texture, the skin color, his hair color came back, his fatigue went away. I mean, there was a whole bunch of stuff happened to him.
Wow.
But I
Okay.
want to say, check it out, because I think there's ways of balancing that where you don't have to have some parts removed there. You can balance it out with what you need to do with that.
Okay. And you see my finances being okay to
Well,
manage that.
I feel there was some financial things there that I want to say was mistakes in the past. That makes sense to you?
Spending too much.
Well, I feel an energy now that I see you being really conservative and you're watching what you're doing. And I know at times you feel tight, but I know it's going to work. And I could see a little extra money coming your way. I'm not sure in what form or how it comes about, but I see some extra money coming your way.
Okay, that's helpful.
God bless you, dear.
Thank you, Sandy.
Thank you so much.
You're
Very
welcome.
much. Thank you. Moving on. We're now with Mark. Mark, you're on with Greg.
Thank you, Rick. Hi, Greg. How you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, actually. I'm looking for closure. Last September 24th, Friday, I lost a longtime cat companion, and he went missing overnight. It was like he vanished from the face of the earth. And I'm just wondering if there's anything that you can say that might help me with closure on that situation.
Now, he was a partner of yours.
Yes, yes.
I feel an energy with him that you at times, not all the time, but at times would see a mentally unstable energy with him.
Hmm.
And would you understand he could be secretive, where there was times he wanted to present himself as being very open, but at times he could be very secretive.
Yeah, I just attributed that to him being a cat, but it could have been more than that.
Well, I feel there's more than that there in the sense of mentally. And
Hmm.
I feel an energy with you that I want to say in some levels, he was a blessing in your life. And you certainly were a blessing in his life. But I also feel with him, I don't feel with him he was living honestly. He had a different way of believing, thinking, and action, but he covered it up. And what he shared with you was acceptable on your side. And then he couldn't put up the act anymore. And I feel with him, he reached that point where he couldn't put up with the act anymore. And he just basically bailed out. And I mean, it's very sad in one way because it certainly has disturbed you and it's been tough on you. But I see getting settled down emotionally where, you know, God bless him somewhere else, preferably further away, because it's an energy that he needed. And I bless him in his journey. And I'm free of the turmoil and wondering of where's he at? What's going on? Is he all right? He's all right. You put him in God's hands. And the other energy I was feeling was your ability to be in a calm space, because you can be incredibly analytical. And you tried to figure everything out. My God, every angle you could possibly figure out. But I feel an energy now. There are things in life that are just virtually not going to be figured out. I mean, it's just beyond us. And that's one of them. It's beyond you. God bless them. Let go of it. And would you recognize also, you've had some mail come in that has been for him?
Yeah.
Because I see the mail and I feel he's not only done this with you, but he's done with some other people also.
Interesting.
I don't feel this was at all just you. I think there was like, I stepped out of this life and I'm over somewhere else creating another life. And that's what he's doing. And there's a need to step back from it and just God bless him.
So just let go, in other words, just.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay,
God
thank
bless
you. Thank you very much, Mark. Susan A., you're in New Mexico and you're already with Greg.
Hi, Greg. Good to
Hi.
see you. Been a while.
Yeah.
And thank you, Rick, for putting this together. I appreciate it. I would ask you questions about the direction of my mediumship and practice, as well as my art.
I feel that those two things go hand in hand, because I feel some of the art you're doing is speaking from spirit. And it's something that there's an energy there that certain people look at some of the things you're doing, and there's a healing energy there that uplifts them and helps them. And it also brings you a calmness, because you know there's certain people that would want the art, that they needed the art. Not just wanted it, not that it's beautiful, but it's like, I need that energy of that art. So you're not only doing things that I would term mediumship, but you're doing things that I would say is healing.
Wow.
And for you to trust that you're feeling it and you're healing, and your healing is going to other people also. That makes sense?
I think so.
Because I see a balance there of that running along smoother and easier for you. And would you recognize also, working with your own mediumship, you've been finding recently that I want to be able to talk about it with groups of people, and I can share with them what beliefs are and what can be done. Because I see you having a lot more to give, and I know the opportunities are going to open to you that you can do that.
Sounds good. Thank you. So does that mean more demonstration work?
Yes. More demonstration work. And I see some groups and organizations that you're going to go and work with and bring them to a point of understanding that they could privately work with you also. And it's not just a speaking platform, but I mean, if they wanted to come and you work with them, you could do that.